Hello. Morning. Woo! Friday. Okay. How's everybody? Welcome to my flick through video. If you've never seen one of those videos, blah, blah, blah. If you've never seen one of these videos before, sorry. This is a record shop, and I will go through. I have new stock every week, and I'll flick through the new stock. I have new, normal, not exciting stuff really, and then collectibles, and I'll put time stamps. I also do a lot of talking, right? So you can either stick around and be slightly amused, or you can just go straight to the flick through, turn the volume down, and then be slightly disappointed. It's up to you. Okay, so let's put the timestamps on. I've started to do this by lifting timestamps, right? Woo! Very dignified, isn't it? That'll be the normal stuff. Collectibles, here we go. And that's me sucking in. Right, let's get on with it. So, got some good stuff. If anybody saw my post the other day, picked up some Gary Newman stuff, who for some reason I keep calling Gary Numberwang. I don't know why. I just can't stop calling him Gary Numberwang, which is what I'm going to put. That's what it's going to look here out there. So, it's not disrespectful towards Gary. It's not disrespectful. It's just, you know, when you have something in your mind, you can't get rid of it. Gary Numberwang. There we go. Right, who's Gary Numberwanged off? Sinead. Sad. There's a ding for Sinead. I do a little ding for those who've... Sinead. Very sad. Very, very sad. Oh, very young. Very talented. Etc, etc. Randy Meisner. Randy Meisner out of the Eagles. Coolest looking member of the Eagles, wasn't he? Bass player of the Eagles. Found a member up to like Hotel California-ish. So there's a ding for Randy. Tony Bennett, 96, no age. There's a ding for Tony. Right, what else have we got? Don't forget the gig, Sam Roberts. I've got no editing. There's no editing on these videos. So you know the way you see those videos and they're doing, so that's my effects, just spinning around. You know the way you watch a video and then they'll turn to another camera when they say something, and then the camera will focus in like this. Oh, isn't that amazing? I don't think so. And it'll go back. I don't have any of that. So soz, not soz. You know what I mean? Anyway, Sam Roberts is playing in the shop. If you haven't seen the shop, by the way, there it is. Yeah. Sam Roberts is playing in the shop. He's a very talented local singer-songwriter artist. He's launching his new single, You Are The One. He's playing here tomorrow, Saturday 29th of July, 1 PM, early start, free. Come in, catch Sam, have a cup of coffee, cup of tea, peruse the records, buy Sam's record. It's not physical, I don't think, but you can buy it on the old Bandcamp. Alright? Alright! What was I thinking the other day? No, I wasn't thinking. That's not right. What have we got else? Oh yeah, Aerosmith Warp. If you remember last week, I bought an Aerosmith record, and it was badly warped, and then I had to find something really heavy to put it under, and I did the most funny, obvious joke about the heaviest records to put it under. Boom! Man of War 1, of course. Man of War 1. Oh, hurt me arm doing that. But I've stuck it under a box of records, so should we see where it's up to? I mean, I'm gonna. I don't care what you say, so I'm gonna. That's actually quite a heavy box of records. Jesus. Right. I suspect it's done nothing. I'm not gonna get disappointed because it's just gonna stay there. You know, I'm not putting it in the oven. So, yeah, it's done. It's done nothing. Look. I've had it in for a week. I mean, I should like try to put it on a flat surface and kind of try to measure that, shouldn't I? that is pretty bendy, is my scientific unit of measurement. It's gone from super bendy to almost as super bendy. Okay, good content. More of that. I'll say more of that next week. I'll forget, and then as I'm closing the shop down in whatever amount of years or months or weeks or whatever, I'll find it. Right, let's put that back. It needs to go under the edge, doesn't it? Alright. Alright, so, good content. Aerosmith Warp. What did I say? Very bendy to slightly less very bendy. Slightly less very bendy. Okay, right, let's get on. Should we get on? Oh yeah, let's go 6 minutes. Let's just get on with it. Right, 6 minutes. Hello, welcome to the flick through. Let's pull you a little bit closer. Sorry. Oh, I've got bad news. My pen's running out of ink. My favourite pen. I'm getting a bit anxious. So, while you're all doing proper jobs and have proper responsibilities, I'm going to pretend to be pricing records, but I'll really be looking for a box of these pens cheap, because they're the best. Okay, flick through. Right, so I've got loads of singles. Hey, good job. Right, nothing super collectible, I don't think, in the 7s, but what tends to sell in my shop is the post-punk stuff. Hang on. Let's get me pen for that. Ow. You know what, I once went to a doctor and they said, do you know what you should put, the only thing you should put in your ear, they said, because I was like, get me ear syringe or something. I was like, what? And they said, your elbow. And I thought, oh, okay. And I never even realised until kind of, you know, a day later I went, oh, I can't get my elbow in me. Okay. So stuff like the police. So funny. Stuff like the police. Not this, but I've put a karaoke classic. Let's face it, that's everybody's auntie and uncle from the 1970s, isn't it? Right, so stuff like the police, ABBA, Dexys, stuff like that sells in my shop. What's that? Oxy Music, Avalon, not really Eye of the Tiger, Bowie, you know what I mean? Like 80s, Bowie, Blondie, Bowie, all this sort of stuff sells. So that's what, the reason I'm telling you is that's what I tend to kind of, I've got thousands of singles, so that's what I tend to hunt out and price up, unless it's something collectible, and then it'll go online. Check out my Discogs store. Sorry, Ramones, it's a bit more unusual. The End of the Wedge, Southport Metal. If you know members of the Wedge or the End or whatever they're called, keep it to yourself, no one cares. No, I'm kidding. Tell them I've got one of their records here. All Young Dudes. Ooh, I played that in the shop's great. Bit of Prince. You know, not amazing Prince, bit of Tracy Chapman. My Sweet Lord. Got a bit of Kate Bush. It's worthwhile touching base with our singles, because I have a few people who will come in and look, just go through the 7s and sort of pick out what they want, so not all of it gets priced up. Okay? But there's still some cool stuff there. A lot of jam. I've got loads of Style Council, jam, bits and bobs like that. Alright. Right, there's some not very exciting records at the beginning of this, and then there is some interesting records a bit further on. I'll put this at the beginning because it's Kung Fu soundtrack. But if you just glance at that and pretend this bloke had hair, it's Mark Lamar, isn't it? It's Mark Lamar. Who's Mark Lamar, you're all saying? Look him up. Super duper talented comedian and an immense knowledge of music. I once actually emailed him because he did a show, didn't he? On Radio 2, I think, or Radio 6. And he did a show, and I'm sure it specialised in ska. And I wanted to know about this particular ska artist. I couldn't find anything that much. I just emailed him, and at Radio 2, whatever it was, and he replied very quickly and gave me some information about the artist. And the artist was Helmsley Morris, and it's one of my favourite. It's a rocksteady tune, because you all know the difference between your ska and your rocksteady, obviously. And it was Stay Loose, which is great. Just put it on. Great. If you're ever looking for some super amazing music to play, Like if you don't know much about that genre of music, you think, oh crikey, I don't really know much about anything about reggae or ska or dub or, you know, lovers rock or rocksteady or whatever. I would start with these Trojan box sets. I've had this years, but this is the best one. Rocksteady is slowed down music, right? Something to do with the summer of '67 or something being hotter, so they slowed the music down. Give that a listen. This is my copy. It's not for sale in the shop, but that is your listening homework. There's some absolute belters on that. Boom. Anyway, Kinks. These are all cheap stuff. This is all like £5 stuff. I thought I'd put at the beginning. Some jazz stuff. Can you see that? Come a bit closer, baby. Anyway, woo. Jazz, Kenny Burrell. There's just jazz comps on Jazz Quartet. So again, if you've been frightened of jazz, didn't know where to start, jazz is just immense. It's just not one thing, is it? So come and listen to some of this stuff in the shop. Some of this old piano jazz is great. Well, just go and buy an Ella Fitzgerald album and just start from there, work out from Ella. That's a good starting point. Nina Simone. Something like that. Bucky Pizzarelli, lad. Where you going tonight? Going to Bucky Pizzarelli's. Buddy Rich, Zoot Sims, Milton Hinton. All of those names are just too cool for you, frankly. More jazz-inspired... Yeah, it's a different album. Jazz-inspired piano. You know, if you were watching a video of a proper record shop, they wouldn't be showing you this. They'd be showing you, like, my good friend in Defend Vinyl, like, Wilco first presses. And, you know, really cool, important, collectible, rare albums. What do I show you? I mean, Eddie Cochran's important, but this is not a collectible record, right? But I have it in the shop. I have all sorts of stuff like this. Shades of folk. Insert your folk joke here. Not about the sandal beer drinking. I just mean using the word folk in any context to pretend that you're swearing. So I've just put folk in great. Just giving that joke a minute to digest. Woo! Look, I put this in. Christa Berg, because in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, when I was a kid and worked in Crown Records in Crosby, I remember distinctly they had albums like this. I'm sure there was a Chris Rea one and a Tina Turner one, and they all had this kind of pastel effect. Was there a Roxy Music one as well? They just absolutely shoveled them out by the ton. I remember selling loads of them at like Christmas. And I remember just like thinking I was all pasteled out. I had to go and like, you know, listen to a Faith No More album just to get beyond the kind of quaint pastelness of it all. So they're only in there for that. Otherwise, they'd be sat in a box about to go to the charity shop. By the way, I've got loads of cheap records. There's two things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna probably have a summer sale, and I haven't worked that quite out yet. But probably the bank holiday. I'll probably open all bank holiday in August. I'll work that out and let you know. And I've got so many cheap records that I'm eventually going to ship them out, give them away, take them to a charity shop. I'll let you know. I mean, you know, the inner sleeves are probably worth more than the actual record. This is like super cheap Mantovani stuff. Motown Songbook. Gets better. Stick with it. Psychedelic Smashes. This is a great comp. The light's not very good, is it? I'm not doing very well here. Just bring it even closer, baby. Psychedelic Smashes, Small Faces, Amen, Corner, The Nice. It's just, loads of these comps are really good. I saw the great one yesterday. The soundtrack to Stardust. I didn't realise that. Like Hendrix on, Small Faces, The Moves, Zombies. You know, obviously compressed a bit for that type of press, but still, pretty good. Funny space, baby. Say no more. Okay, this is a bit more interesting. Let's say, I'll put down a time stamp for the bit more interesting stuff. Okay, and that'll be, let's just go 14. Let's go 15 mins. God, I do feel sorry for the people who are watching this with the sound turned down and just keep them fast forwarding, thinking, what's he talking about? Why isn't he getting to a record? What does he talk about? Turn the sound up and you'll know, won't you? Oh yeah, I've got a bit of a dilemma I've been thinking about. I'll ask you in a minute. Right, let's get to 15 minutes. So these are the more interesting collectibles if you join. Sorry, more interesting normal records if you join. The rest are all £5 stuff. Neil Young, Old Ways. Never had that in before. Nazareth, Best of Nazareth. I say more interesting. Get a bit there. Vangelis. Right, this is a good way of getting some of the Blade Runner stuff on vinyl if you haven't got it, and because the Blade Runner soundtrack I think it's been repressed a couple of times, but I don't think it's cheap at all. So that's got a few. It's got a bit of Blade Runner on it. Chariots of Fire. Yeah, Texas, South Side. Through a Big Country. Shut up, you big country. Woo! So funny. This is actually more Bob Dylan, right? You see that? The light. Oh, this is terrible, isn't it? You know what? I'm not going to change. It's going to stay like this. Sorry, editing. Right, but look at this. The inner sleeve. Get happy with Tony Bennett. On the inner sleeve. That's what you need, isn't it? Anyway, that's more Bob Dylan double Uzi flip. Reg. Elton John. Mark Almond. Enchanted. Did he come from Southport? I mean, if he did, he folked off as soon as he got his first royalty check, didn't he? Mind you. So would I. I came from Southport. Not apologising for that. Batman. I don't know why I had to look at that a bit. Batman 1989. Good, that, isn't it? You Know Who. Greatest Hits. First prog album I think I bought was this. I mean, it's folky-ish prog. It's just really mellow and just a really easy to listen, great introduction. It really sounds like what the cover looks like. Maybe without the lutes or whatever, but it's just a brilliant album. This is the repress, Rainbow label repress. Just still great record. Songs to Learn, Cern and Ling by Dear Mr. Echo and the Bunnymen. Leather Infected. Ooh, told you there was some good stuff. Elton John Greatest Hit. Okay. Alright. I'm kidding, Elton's amazing, isn't he? Apart from that song, which no one can stand. Hall & Oates. Abandoned Luncheonette. It's had a bit of a life, but it plays fine. £8. She blows. Ultravox. Ay. Kilimanjaro. Different sleeve. Teardrop. Explode. I've got loads of Style Council and a bit more jamming. I haven't got around to pricing it up yet. Got loads of Style Council prefab Sprout, some signed prefab Sprout stuff. That's your thing. So, cheap, £10 on that. If you're a drummer, like I'm a drummer, when you get your drum kit set up, you take a photo like this. Or you draw in your school book, you draw your kit like this. You start writing the dimensions down. 14, 10, 12, 16. That was how you draw your drum kit out. You see it in the drum magazines, you'd be like, trying to work out what drum, Nico McBrain had or whatever. That's cool. That's a good cover. Got loads of 12 inches. They're normally £2.50 unless they're individually priced. So it's stuff like this which is individually priced, and some of it is quite collectible in all sorts of genres. 5 Get Overexcited, the House Martins, 4-track 12-inch single. 1978, The Strand. They did do 12 inches in the 70s. I don't know if this is a repress or it is 78. When I looked it up on the cogs, it said 78. So anyway, there you go. Do the Strands Ski. Collectible disco. This is Donna Summer doing MacArthur Park. Go figure that. 20 minutes I think we'll do the collectibles at. Collectibles, 20 minutes. Oh yeah, here's what I was going to ask. I don't know if it's in here. We'll just get on with it, that's good. Is it? Right, hello. Welcome to the collectibles. Welcome to the... Let's get through the collectibles and then... Oh, just spat on the thing. Don't you hate that? When you're talking to someone, spit. I think I mentioned that before. Now I'm getting older and I don't really care. I'll just go, sorry, I think I spat on you. Right, collectibles. Right. Oh, look what I've got, yeah. Daddy Lorex. I can hear music. It's a 90s repress, unofficial press of it. It's not the original one. I've got a copy of that original one. I think that's worth about the same, to be honest. I think it only ever came as a promo. Anyway, if you know, Larry Lorex is basically Freddie Mercury. And the other members, I think John and Roger are on it. They produced it when they were testing it out. Delaney, I think, Studios in Soho. I think when they were under contract to Trident. I think so. I can't remember. I should know. That means move on. Right, cast, all change. This is numbered with the insert. It's near mint. Beautiful. What number's that? It's number 6,626. Okay. The Laz, there she goes, original. Really nice. I'd say vinyl, looks unplayed, near mint. Sleeve is very good, plus got a little nibble at the top there. Just a little bit of wear to it, but the Laz, there she goes. 1972 T-Rex, near mint. I was looking at this several times thinking, is this a 1972 press? Just absolutely boom. Perfect. I almost kept this. Oh, I was like, oh God, I can't. I've gotta. It's really hard. I take stuff home and it kind of stays in stasis for a bit. Kind of stays in an airlock where I'm really trying to battle with. I'm trying to run a business and I've got to sell it. And then sometimes it'll come back. Sometimes it'll go on the shelf and then eventually come back. Look at this. Moving Pictures, Rush, UK Press. Sleeve a bit battered, but the vinyl is fine. So if you want to get a copy of this, these are... Because this is a great album, right? And that's why these are a bit more desirable. Going up in price, just great. Oh, this was hiding away. This is De La Soul 7. So there's some collectible 7s. So that is a roller skate and jam named Saturday. So I'll put that at the front with the other stuff. Collectible 7s. Boom! Where are we up to? Collectibles. Farm, 1984 Farm. So I just put, and other Orwell tales. It's not. It's the early 12-inch on that. That's near mint all over. If you're a Farm fan, not that expensive. The Associates, Heart of Glass. This is quite cool. It's not really a collectible record, right? It's pretty cheap. But, comes with 3D specs. Look at that. Put that out of the way. So, left eye, right eye. Right. Okay. This is good telly, isn't it? Woohoo! Ooh! Do the other side now. Ooh! That looks like ooh. Yeah, works. Okay. If anybody wants any more 3D, what do they call those videos where they like opening up or reaction videos? God, what's the world come to? Reaction videos. If anybody wants to see a reaction video of me reacting, here you go. Okay, save yourself some time. That's all you need. This is a great record. This has always been relatively not sought after, but a bit sort of collectible. I think if you're a record collector and you've got some prog and a bit of rock, you're gonna have this in your collection. So this is Captain Lockheed and the Starfighters, Robert Calvert at Hawkwind. If you listen to it, it's basically Hawkwind. He basically tries to reference Silver Machine and machines all over the shop. So it's slightly an interestingly odd record. It's come down in price actually. There's some records which before the internet used to be a bit more collectible and desirable, and it probably was about the same price then. But since the internet, I think everybody's realised there's boxes of them. So that's an American one, 20 quid on that. That's near mint all over. The other one is, I think I've got it here, the other record. That is similar, it's not worth as much as it used to be. Raw Power, it's a repress of it, but it's still, iconic, right? There we go. Kraftwerk, This is an unofficial release of a live concert in Cologne, 1975. Hasn't been played. Concerts for Campuchia. This is another record. I remember buying this when I first started collecting records. So I thought, wow, yeah, I've got to have that. And I think it was like 25 quid then, and that was the mid 80s, I guess. But again, since the internet, seemingly there's loads of them. But that's really good condition all over. OMD, Dazzle Ships. Good that, isn't it? You open it up, it's obviously based off the Dazzle Ships idea. Pretty cool, that, isn't it? That's opposite the bloke from OMD on the not the bass player, the other dude, Peter, whatever his name is. Didn't say anything. Harvest, Neil Young, really nice condition. Got the insert. It's really, these wear, as you all know, because it's like a very kind of rough sleeve on it. These wear quite easily, and that's in great condition. And that's a UK one, so it's 35 on that, which I think is pretty good because people are trying to get like 75 upwards. I had one that was like absolutely mint, and I put 75 on that, and it didn't sell. So what I tend to do is, as progressive of a record shop, I just swapped that out, took that home. So it's odd, but stuff that it can be so minty and you want to get a more premium price, you've either got to sit on it for a while or take it home. Got some Smith stuff. Sheila Take a Bow, 12-inch. Shoplifters of the World Unite, 12-inch. These are all very good. Plus, I'd say near mint, really. Oh, I'll put Carter, because I've got another couple of Smiths, and we'll do Carter. Smiths, Hatful of Hollow. Not the limited, it's got all the dots. You know the one. But still, desirable. Original press of that. And I showed you this last week, but being that I'm showing you the Smith stuff, I'll show you again. Sandy Shaw hand in glove on the marble vinyl. Collectible. Carter. Not super collectible, just I've not had it in, so it's a bit more collectible than the Kung Fu soundtrack. You know what I mean? Features Sheriff Fatman. I put it on now because I never really liked Carter, and I put it on yesterday just to play it through and see what it sounded like. There's a couple of little marks on it. Couldn't hear them, and it's great. It's really good. Obviously quite political. From Liverpool, the box unplayed. The box has got a couple of nibbles on it. Bit worn there. The whole thing is unplayed. That's online. I'll listen to sensible offers on that. Right, on the Gary Newman stuff, I've not priced it up yet, but I've got absolutely tons of it. It's all stuff like this, like picture discs, sevens, picture discs, Chubby Army stuff. This is the repress of it, the double thing. So there's all that sort of stuff which I've got to get to and price up. And then, oh, got all kind of serious, haven't I? And then loads of interesting 12s. This is an Italian 12-inch, and where they have the free single, I'm sure I'll have them. I've just got to go through it all. This is like an official photo book of the 1985 UK tour. There's tour programs. You know, there's coloured vinyls, white vinyl there. There's interesting rarity albums. So I think stuff like this on. There's about 6 or 7 of these. Other picture discs, got loads of it. I'll be getting through it next couple of, I'd be honest, next couple of weeks, because it'll take me a while. Then all the albums, Pledge Principle. Somebody has emailed me asking me for a couple of the albums. So, Annie, I think it's you. So, I'll let you know. Original Chubby Army, Cars, is that 12-inch? Or an album? That's an album. You know. So all that I'll get to. Telecon replicas, and then the scarves. Got a load of tour scarves. Look at that. The Gary Newman tour scarf. The dude I bought this off, I think got into him in the 80s predominantly. So that's like a 1988 tour scarf, 1987 tour scarf. You can see where this is going, can't you? And then this is my favourite. It's Gary Newman 1984 one with all the badges on. Badges. Look at that. All the badges. Cool. This is staying in the shop, this one. Right, so. Oh no. Oh no, Chubby Army is falling off. I have to do a bit of surgery on my Gary Newman tour scarf, which is... When I was doing my Master of Science degree, I never thought that would be where I'd end up. Anyway, oh yeah, so... Oh man, I've run over. Here's a quick pondry for you. Right, thank you. Come in the shop, buy some records. Right, here's my thing. I was looking at some 1970s records, and just the people in the band were very hirsute, and it just made me think, 1970s. Do you think hairdressers, I'll leave you with this, in the 1970s were either A, very busy because everybody had hair, and therefore they were very busy looking after that hair, or B, not very busy because everybody grew their hair? Okay, that's the sort of question, you know, you can leave your answers in the comment below, but I don't care about any of that, so I'll see you next week. All right, ciao. Bluetooth. Bye.